Thank you all for showing up. Glad you're here. Welcome. I think I know everybody in the room, so I don't really need to introduce myself, but I will anyways. Lucretia from Burning Up the Roads and Prepping. If you watched the video, so I'm struggling with trying to figure out how to do the premiere and then go right into a live stream. I've screwed it up twice. I know that's going to shock some people, but I have. So this has been a tough weekend around Oregon. I don't know if anybody is here in the Oregon area, but first let me jump in to say hello to some folks. We've got Kaylee. Thank you so much for coming. I don't know if she's still here or if she had to leave or not, but and then we've got Charlotte, RV Grandma. Thank you for coming, Charlotte. Glad you're here. A lot of smoke. So you're up in the Tri-Cities area. So a lot of smoke everywhere. Richard and I had to go to the store the Friday, and it was just very thick. It's very, very thick. That's all I can say. Phil, so I tell you what, it was just a couple weeks ago. I knew we had the one fire where the young man passed. He died fighting a fire in Oregon. He was out of the Colorado crew, but his family, he's actually from Minnesota or Wisconsin, somewhere in that area. But and then what brought that to my attention is I had been thinking, oh, I'm so glad that we haven't really had any gigantic wildfires. This was about a month ago, I guess, that we hadn't had a ton of wildfires. And then I saw that this young man had died fighting one here, and I was just saddened. Just first of all, deeply thankful to people who get up in the morning or the evening or the middle of the night and go fight wildfires to keep our structures safe, to keep people safe, and to keep our beautiful state beautiful. And I'm grateful to them. So that he lost his life trying to protect this state, I felt very sad, just very sad. And it felt today when I was working on that video, finishing it up, at the last minute, I thought I can't do that video without putting him in there. So, hello, George. So thank you for being here. I saw that you're full-time now, I believe. And there's husband. Hurrah, hurrah, yes. He's here. Have an egg room. Okay, so I really, whoever has to leave. I understand. This is really the time slot, only one I had. And maybe we'll just do everything by the time Nate goes live. I don't know. But if you have to leave, go. I understand when we step on each other's toes, sometimes that happens. And I just remember Dee saying one time, you cannot worry about that. I mean, if that's the only time you have, then that's what you have. Just go do it. But a lot has happened in a short period of time with these fires. I wish it would rain. My little sister is wishing for snow. Priscilla is wishing for snow. I'll be thankful if we get snow. We both love it. Hey, Roy and Becky, don't know which one's here, but whoever it is, welcome. Glad you're here. Hope you're safe. And I remembered last week, I was looking for your live stream one morning. I'm like, what happened? What? There's not even a notification. And then I remembered, Roy and Becky are not going to be going live for about 2 weeks. And Shirley, welcome. Glad you're here. Thank you for showing up. Miss Kaylee. Kaylee, saying hello, hello. Shirley. There's my one sister, Olita, Patricia. I call her Patty. And in all fairness, she calls me by my middle name. My middle name is K-A-Y. And my family, I started using my first name, which is Lucretia K, when I was 18. When I graduated from high school, I thought, how can I grow up fast? I know, I'll use my first name. You know, I was 17. I was supposed to be going in the Navy and I didn't. So I just changed my name, or started using my first name instead. So anyways, thank you for coming, Patricia. And then we've got, let's see what else down here. Just make sure I'm not missing anything in the comments, and then I'll show you some information. I didn't know if everybody had watched that video or not, since it wasn't a premiere. And so I really wanted you to see what the state is facing, and to honor the people that go out and do the work, and the people that have lost so much. And I'll tell you kind of a funny story about this. This last week, I really want to go somewhere and I don't have the money to go do anything. It just comes down to money. I don't have the money to go camping. I don't have the money to go for a big giant drive. I just don't have it. And so I thought, I have to get out of town or I'm going to lose part of my mind, the little tiny bit that's there. And so so we have a city bus, the Lane Transit District, that runs through Eugene and some of our smaller outlying towns. It even goes to Florence, which is right 45 miles, 60 miles from where I live, 45 from where my sister lives, who's on here. And there was 95 degrees in Wyoming last week. Then the next day, 55 degrees and some snow in the nearby mountains. Why, Patty, did our family not settle in Wyoming? Montana preferably, but I would love to have been in Wyoming. Well, then I'd have never met Richard and blah, blah, blah. So this Lane Transit bus system, pretty big bus system. Yes, I have, Patricia. I have followed the windy conditions. I know that we're good today as far as wind today. So we're doing okay today. It did get pretty windy. Well, unfortunately, Richard will not quit smoking. And so he can't get the surgery he needs. It's just the way it is. Sorry I outed you, Richard. I love you. Yeah, and he has a hernia that's been there since before we left and went to Quartzsite. And then one surgeon last year turned down doing surgery. It's just progressively gotten worse, and they're sending him to someone new. And speaking of surgery, I know Montana, from what I can see, is absolutely just gorgeous. And my sister, Olita Himmerly here, she got to live in Wyoming for a short period of time with a partner. So before we get started, most of you know one of our sisters, our very oldest sister, had surgery a couple weeks ago. She went to the hospital. Like, this is a trauma center. This is where they bring you by helicopter, by the way. So they bring her here, or they take her to the hospital. They believe she's had a gallbladder issue. And by the way, she had some odd numbers with her heart. They send her home. She goes back to the hospital a few days later. She's got an infection. She's septic. And they take out her gallbladder. She's in the hospital a few days, and Nancy's in her early 70s. I have sisters that were old enough almost, well, our older one that died, the oldest one, Linda, she was old enough to be my mom, but I have sisters significantly older than me, and which was nice because when they went on dates, them and their boyfriends always took me with them. And this one here, Patricia, also, because she was married, I was 13 and she was about 17. I was 12 or 13. And her husband, that she was her first husband, whom really is the only brother-in-law I've had from her, they all, you know, they took me places, and my little sister and I always spent the night with them, and we'd have fun over there. But I love my brother-in-law, Stuart, always will. So, so anyways, Nancy goes in, she has the surgery, gets it taken out. They give her IV antibiotics for this septic situation. And then she comes home. She's had a couple, you know, a rough week and a half, something like that. I can't remember what day she came home on. And so she wasn't feeling well a couple days ago. Little sister Priscilla is encouraging her to go back to the hospital. She sees her doctor. You know, he's going to keep a close eye on her, but he's the doctor. He's not, you know, a surgeon or anything. And she's just worse. So she goes back, and she goes back yesterday. If she had not gone back, she would have probably been so severe. I think she would have probably died. She is severely septic. They did not clear it up. They did not cure it with that short course of antibiotics. And she's very ill, is all I can say. She's in intensive care unit. Her organs started shutting down. Her liver is not working at all. And I have to kill something here. Her liver is not working at all. And they thought she had endocarditis, which is the infection around the heart. And it's caused, so now they have, you know, done a lot of work on her, because guess what? When you're in ICU, you have a real doctor. I was there a couple of years back, and I had a great doctor. And so they figured out she also has E. coli, and not from food. It's the E. coli that grows in your intestines, because everybody's got E. coli. And she's very, very ill. And she asked me if you guys would say a prayer for her. She asked me if I would ask you guys to pray for her. And she is a woman of faith, and she has several grandchildren, many grandchildren. And she's very loved by her family. And she has a husband. They've been married about 110 years. And so, no, like over 50, I think over 50 years. So that's why I wanted to start it out with that, is she was wanting to ask you guys to say a prayer for her. So whenever you have a moment, if you could say a prayer, or if you could send off good wishes or anything. Her name is Nancy, and she's a very nice person. As a matter of fact, check this out. They just bought a new home. It's not, if they've been living in it for many, many years, but they just bought a home. In the last 6 months, they just had the roof put on, new siding done. She had just started working a few months ago for the Lane Transit District. Here you go. And now I don't even know when she'll be able to go back to work, if she will. So anyways, no negativity, it's just the luck of the draw in the universe. Remember the days when if you had surgery, you spent minimum 5 days in the hospital. Now almost every surgery, they send you home within 24 hours. So wrong in many cases. So that's true. Before I had my last back surgery, not my last one, but the one before that, my surgeon's assistant, who I've worked with a lot, he calls me and he says, now, because I'm in the hot because I'm a larger person. There's sometimes more needs and blah, blah, blah. I spend more time in the hospital after my back surgeries. So he called me and he goes, Lucretia, and he was like very firm. And he said, I need you to know that you cannot spend even one night in the hospital. What are you talking about, Sean? And he goes, you can't. You know, we have to, this is normally a day surgery anyways. And so I said, but okay, that's fine. That's fine. I will prepare for not staying in the hospital. My point is, that's a surgery. I would have normally been in the hospital for 2 days. I did go home. It was not easy. It was not an easy situation, but I did go home. So anyways, you're right, Charlotte. They're sending people home much too early, and my sister Nancy is a good example. All right, so Polaran message. Thank you. Polaran. Is it Polaran or Polaran? In my brain, it wants to just say Polaran. Glad you're here. Oh, she'll persevere. Yep, she will. I have no question. You don't have, this sister lost a son a few years ago, about 5 years ago. He is the one who committed suicide, and I've done a video about it. I've shared about that, and with her permission. She's had a lot in her life, and she needs a break. Praise for wisdom for doctors. Pray for peace and comfort for the family that only the Lord can give. Amen. Yep. I was actually, yes. And we'll get to I promise we're going to get to the fire situation. The pronunciation. Thank you. All right. Let's see. We're at my first Embo ride. Was there about 6 hours. Told me I have high white blood cell count. Told me to go see my primary discharge me. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I understood. Hey, Travel Dreamer. I'm assuming that's Fatima. And by the way, is it Fatima or Fatima? I know it probably could be pronounced either way, but I like to say people's name as properly as possible, because when I go to the doctor, when I go and somebody has to pronounce my name for the very first time, they look at, especially doctors' offices, I know when they're going to call me, because they have a board in front of them like this. They're looking at it and looking at it, and they look around the room and they go, Ms. Lake. I said, yep, I'm Lucretia. All right, so thank y'all for coming. If you could share this out, I know there's other people going live shortly, and I'm so sorry. I really needed to do it at this time today. And if you have to leave, you have to leave, and I'll be fine. All right, so Oregon, we've had a horrible weekend. All right, okay. Fatima, got it. The sun has been red. That's how bad it's been. As my sister just said, the sun has been red. So if you could share us out, that would be great. Give me a thumbs up. Also would be wonderful. And that is for the analytics, which I had such a hard time remembering the other day. So I'm going to share something here. Talking about the wildfire. We have this really cool resource, and it is the Wildfire official website of the state of Oregon, Wildfire response and recovery site, current wildfire situation. So I was curious, as of today, how many wildfires, blah, blah, blah. Fire statistics, right over here on the left. Total active fires are 21. Acres burned, almost over a quarter of a million acres, almost 300,000. 286,255.24. I love that 0.24. I mean, these are some people who know how to do their measurements. If they can do that and know that 0.24 in a fire has happened. So not too far from where I live is a town east of here called Oak Ridge. So also this, I'm going to talk about this real quick. We've got the evacuations, level 3, a population of about 1,400, which is the level 3 is go now. You can't wait, and you can't go pack anything. So they start giving out the level 1 is when they tell you, go get packed, get ready, because you may have to go somewhere. Level 2 is be ready, because when we give you the level 3, you can't go anymore. You just have to get in your little vehicle and run. And so we've got 3,076 people on the level 1, 6,438 on the ready to go, and 1,461 that have been evacuated. So that is in part, that's all east of me. And so one of the towns, this is what I was going to tell you, is there's a little town called Oak Ridge, and it is east of us. It's kind of the gateway into going over the pass. It's before you go over the pass. Okay, I'm going to leave that up and come back to it. Hey, Wandering Gypsy Vanner, thank you for coming. Very, very happy to see you. It's been a while. So this little town called Oak Ridge, our bus system drives up. It's up the McKenzie River. It goes up to I don't know if the ranger station is the last stop, or if the little town of McKenzie Bridge is the last stop. But what I intended on was for Richard and I, since I don't have any money, was to get on the bus, the city bus. Not to mention, I actually thought it would be kind of nice. Get on the city bus and go out in that direction and get off out there. Okay. It's not too far from Oak Ridge. I take my walker, we could take a lunch, and we just get off the bus on the roadside. Over where either the ranger station is or McKenzie Bridges. They've got a they have a store there. They have places you can rent and stay, cabins. They have many things up there. I just wanted to go up to one of the parks and hopefully the ranger station, because I would feel safe without having my vehicle with me. I'm usually pretty much in control, and having a car gives me a sense of in controlness. So felt like I would be taking a risk, but I was willing to do it to give some content to the channel. So yes, Kaylee, it's really nice to have a cohesive site like this. So I wanted to do that this coming week, kind of later in the week, and then all of this happens. So one of my nephews was giving me a really bad time about it, because it's like I would get myself into a bad situation. No, I wouldn't, not with my walker. I'm using it more consistently. So, so my sister's been on a level 1 all week. So I'm assuming you and your partner are ready to run, you're ready. You're getting your bag ready. You got your medication. So with that, in prepping, we know that you get your clothes, you get any papers you're going to need. Like if you, let's say, your birth certificate, a marriage license, insurance cards, anything that you could possibly need. And so that's what, getting into that level 1 is all about, getting prepared. I have this land. It was my father's. It still is in theory. He's not with us, but I would love to be a little further away. I do have a place to go if we should need to escape. I don't really foresee that. The area that I live in, it is a suburb. It's not on the, to find me on foot, especially to find our little neighborhood, even though there's a grade school a half a block away, you'd really have to be wandering off the beaten path. Okay, so I don't really. Hey Sue, how's it going? Well, thank you for coming over. I realize I'm so sorry, you guys, that I had to do this time slot. It's just the only one I could do. So if you have to leave, no hard feelings. So anyway, I don't really have fear, but if I had to, I can't. I think common sense says I can't run away. I'm not going to be able to get my walker and go very far. And I cannot walk even a half a block any longer. I could probably walk half a block. If life said it's life and death, yes, I could walk a half a block. But I would never try that. I have a walker. And so but I have a place to go. And ironically, it's not very far from here. And you can actually, so it's a piece of property. It's about 200 acres. And it's, as a crow flies, the property is less than 20 miles from my house. It's a very quick, straight shot to the property. Literally only, once I get out of my neighborhood onto a main road, it's literally 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4 turns. That's it. And 2 of those turns are on the main big roads. So, and then off, and then I would be up in the hills. And I have, that's where my RV is parked. So you can hear the dogs, you can hear the birds, Kaylee. Oh. They are loud. So I'm going to come back to this. So while I do, so if I had to leave my area, which a fire, by the way, we know can break out anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the middle of nowhere. It could be at the school. There's lots of grass, although we have a fire department very close by. So sheltering, if I had to go shelter in place, if I had to be someplace for a while, I have a place to be. And I've got my RV. So right now, we are sheltering in Oregon. Well, I don't know if this, uh-oh, what happened? I'm going to go back. There we go. It's a sheltering person's 153. It seems like there should be more than that, because I can tell you that Oak Ridge, this little town, you know, not more than 45 minutes from here, it was evacuated, and there's more than 153 people who live there. Sheltered animals are 123, and livestock 141. So I do know where many of those people that needed to shelter their livestock came to Eugene, because we have the Lane County Fairgrounds. This is the county seat. We have fairgrounds here, big fairgrounds, lots of barns, blah, 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 just lots of places to put animals, you know. And so we also have Oregon Horse Arena, which is where all of it used to be that the rodeo was at the fairgrounds as well, not any longer. The Oregon Horse Arena, which as a crow flies from me, is only about 3 miles north. That's where they have the 4th of July stuff go on. So air quality right now, let's talk about air quality. It's one of the problems. I did a video. One of the problems is that caused me to freak out the other day was the air quality. We have the LRAPA, Lane Regional Air Pollution Authority is what it is. So we have a ton of smoke coming into the area from south and north, or excuse me, south and east. And this is initializing. Come on, you can do it. All right, well, here we go. So I think we all probably realize that this red is probably the worst of the air quality. Oh, there's the legend. It is. So green would be the best. That's right over here on the coast, and a little bit down here in Klamath County, which Gina is down south, down in here. So all of the fires, the main fires, are just east of us, just east of us. It's just, you know, unfortunately, when you have such beautiful greenery, it's going to be attacked by fire, the forest. Look over here in Idaho. Idaho as well. It's in a real hurting way. And then we have kind of all of this yellow, which, you know, there could be a fire. So that's kind of the point, is right now we lived under this this concern. We were told by our utility companies that we could be the grid shut down for a period of time if necessary. And actually they did shut some people off, and that was very important to do. And I understand why now. I talked to them a couple of times this week. The grid shutdown was because you don't want overtaxing of it and there to be any sparks, the potential for anything that does sparks. I really am using it way more consistently. I don't really have to use it in the house, but if I did, I would, I promise. And I have an electric wheelchair at my disposal. My nieces, a couple of my nieces gave my father a riding wheelchair that used to be my sister's. She had really bad COPD. That's what she died. My oldest sister died of COPD. And so he gave my dad this riding wheelchair, and I got to use it when I was in rehab after my first knee replacement. That's what I use. I got to get my hair out of my face. It's for some reason it's bothering me. I'm having a hard time not going and cutting my hair. So my sister Patricia, Olita Hemmerly, she was under the very direct. She thought she was going to lose power Friday night. Our dogs and birds, our dogs and birds will be fine. They will go with us. There is a place out at the ranch, my nephew's ranch. There is a room where the bird cage could go. They would probably need to they'd have to bring my RV to take the bird cage with us. There's no other way. PSV Odyssey, welcome. Howdy to you. And I believe this is the first time we've met. So thank you for coming by. Much appreciated. So make sure if you would like to give us a thumbs up here. It helps with the analytics. And I see 3 thumbs up. Oh, well. All right. So PSV Odyssey, can you tell me a little bit, just a couple words about what your channel is about? I always like to know what channels are here. Uh-oh, forgot to keep an eye on the Jackery and lost power. Oh, 12, huh? I didn't. My phone is not, oh, it shows 9. I don't know. I'll probably just need to restart it. All right, so that is what, so the video that I did, it showed a lot of the stuff with the fires that are happening right now. And I really felt like people needed to understand there's those who put their life on the line so that the rest of us have our beautiful state. Now, is anybody else having weather-related problems? And if so, what are you doing to abate that? Or is there anything that you're doing? So tomorrow I'm going to be, I do cooking. Oh, yes, I do cooking, some travel, a little music, and some booze recipes. You know, I don't drink, but guess what? I cook with booze all the time, usually wine. I cook with a lot of wine. I love cooking with wine. If you do it right, it leaves, there is a wonderful flavor. My little sister hates it, so I never cook with wine if she's going to eat my food. And I do love to cook. So I'm going to can dry beans tomorrow. I've never done it. And I've been looking at some recipes and some things to do. So I'm canning. My stuff's put away right now. It's put away. But I am going to be canning dry beans tomorrow. I think the only thing I probably would not cook with, Kaylee, is tequila. But yep, I love cooking. It just anything that imparts flavor. Although I've used a lot of juices like white wine, or excuse me, like if it calls for white wine, if I take white wine and kind of mix that with some white wine, or excuse me, white grape juice mixed with white wine vinegar, there is some layering of flavor in there that works somehow. So anybody else who is struggling with their weather-related problems right now, because, you know, things happen. You don't necessarily know, obviously. That's why prepping, if we knew something bad was going to happen in 2 weeks, it would be very easy to get ready for it. When I do have an opportunity, I am going to get a not propane, the little one burner. I was just telling Richard what I would like to get is the one burner. It's not propane. Oh, gee, you're in Truckee. Let's see. Fires in California. Let's look that up. I can't think of it's white gas, but I really would like to get one. And I just found some. Let me get fires in California.
According to Wikipedia, the October 2017 Northern California wildfires, also known as the Northern California Firestorm, North Bay Fires, and the Wine Country Fires, were a series of 250 wildfires that started burning across the state of California, United States.
All right. I'm going to type California wildfires 2022. I'm going to pull up a wildfire map for California. Okay, so let me go back down here. Okay, well, let's continue without disabling. All right, there we go. StreamYard. I'm going to drop a link, and if anybody would like to come up and chat about what's going on in their neighborhood or your channel, I'd love to hear from you. Oh no, G propane, they're a fire scary. Butane. Yes, George, it's butane. You're right. You're right. All right, so I have found a map and I've dropped a link. Campgoer 1, well, hello to you. Thank you for coming in. Wildfires in California. All right, so let me move. I gotta move my light. So this is not very good. I feel like there's more fires in California than this, because I know the one up near the border with Oregon, a view where mosquito fire is currently burning on Placerville and El Dorado counties, northeast of Sacramento, as of Thursday, September 8th. So the mosquito fire. Let me backtrack with this here. Cal fire, here we go. Yep, you guys got one just like we do. All right, making sure that you can see this before I. Yep, you can see exactly what I'm seeing. All right, so I'm going to go there and talk about that. I gotta pause. So my son put a big screen TV as my computer monitor. I love my son, and he's not on here, so I can tell you, it's driving me crazy. I have to alter everything to fit the damn screen, and I've said it, damn screen. All right, so we've got, here we go. All right, so I knew there was more going on in California than that. All right, so bunch of fires up here. You've got mosquito fire, 41,000, almost 42,000 acres. Fairview Fire, 28,000. Mountain Fire, 13,000. Mill Fire, 3,900. Fork Fire, it's a little smaller. Coyote Fire, and thank God they're all right. Well, that's still, there's quite a bit up here in this area. I'm surprised there's not more over here. And I'm going to go down and see what is talking about down here. So here it is. So 325,000 acres, a little more than Oregon, has burned. Can you even believe that in a year? Okay, so like next year, if 300,000 acres burns next year, and here 250,000 acre burns, I mean, it's very confusing to me because we're going to eventually, in my mind, what's going to be there to burn? 6,200 incidents. Oh, 9 fatalities. That's just so sad. So sad to hear. 792 structures. 87 damaged, 705 destroyed. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot destroyed. So later on, I will come back and I will put a link to this in the description. As soon as I'm done with this live stream, Richard and I have an errand we have to go run. All right, so let's see where we're at. So how about you, Linda? Do you guys have anything going on there in Arizona? Any fires, any major fires happening? Yeah, Tim is in Sacramento. Well, thank goodness. When they name the fires, I know. Ay. Yeah, thank God there's none. What part of Arizona are you guys in right now? I believe, are you near Quartzsite? And by the way, George, yes, I would love to know how it's treating you. And again, guys, I'm going to drop the link. I've got a few more minutes. And I'd love to chat with anybody who'd like to come up and chat. Doesn't have to be about fire. My father was a fireman. And so we, as kids, we were taught, the dangers of fires. There's another quick thing I wanted to talk about. It's kind of off the topic, but, life happens. And I saw this, UN. So, let's see. So the United Nations was talking about, they gave a warning of so somebody that I watch on the prepper end of things was talking about it, and I didn't really get a chance, but I did see, I know the UN has given the whole climate red alert thing, which is fine. I've not read that. But overall, I'm going to look at their other stuff. Let's see if this is home. There was an alert. Oh, it has. I know. Remember now. It has to do with the largest nuclear plant in Europe is in Ukraine. It's occupied currently by Russia, and it can't sustain any more damage. If it does, and the right now the people who check nuclear stuff, I say their name all the time when I'm having conversations with people about this stuff. It slips what's left of my mind. IAEA. The IAEA is there. International Atomic Evaluation, whatever. So anyways, they're the people who go check out for leaks of atomic material. And, they're camped out in the neighborhood, and they said UN has said we cannot have it shelled any longer. There can be no further damage to that building. So I keep my eye on that. I'm not panic stricken, but it's a definite, I don't know how much we would be affected, but obviously there would be some effect. And I do want to just touch on Queen Elizabeth. All right. So I realize that the people in this country left the monarchy behind. I adore the Queen. I can't help it. I felt, although I will tell you, she got to live a magnificent life in a birdcage, basically. People watching her 24/7, but she got to do things, some good things. She got to meet amazing people. She got to be a kind person who was able to do some things for other people in a big way. And I realize that the monarchy, the royal family takes a lot of flack. That's not my business. It's not my country. And I probably wouldn't want it either. But I have to say, as a woman, as someone who did amazing stuff, and she did it with dignity, and she did it with clarity right up till 2 days before she died. 2 days before she died, she is welcoming or blessing or installing Liz Truss, I believe that's her name, the new leader of Britain. And she did that 2 days before she died with her little purse on her arm. I love that woman. Yeah, it's going to mess up the world. I love that queen. She's a benevolent woman. So just saying, I've had some sad days here. All right, so let's look this over real quick and see if there's anything any of us need to be paying attention to. Besides the fact that the nuclear place is going to probably blow up. It says she had a reassuring presence. Yes. Okay. She was like my dad. When my dad died 2 years ago at 94, we always felt like, my little sister and I always felt like, as long as he was here, things would be okay. And it felt solid, and it felt stable. And now she's got it. I have a similar feeling. She was solid. She was stable. She was kind. She was a reassuring presence of the world. And she's gone. And now, anyway, so I feel sad. All right, so. Well, this is cool. Humanitarian aid. Somalia is receiving unprecedented level of help with food. We're going to be in a famine as well eventually if we can't get all of the things we need, which we don't make ourselves any longer. And hopefully there's a good thing that could come out of this whole mess, is for the United States to start doing what it's used to do, and that is to produce its own survival, so to speak. Economic development, human development falling behind in 90% of the countries. So climate and environment. I do have to say this about California. They made me laugh my A off. So one day last week, they're talking about how they're going to get rid of no new combustion engine vehicles after 2035. 2 days later, they're telling people, unplug everything because they're going to shut the grid down. Someone have a talk with Gavin Newsom and explain the whole thing about the problem with all of that. I'm just saying, no judgment. Just saying. Come on, Gavin, wake up. All right, so the air that keeps us alive is making us sick, warn UN experts on Clean Air Day. True that. And I have seen what they bring off the bottom of the ocean, and it's horrifying. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to talk about today, because it was about that. I do, before we leave, let me go through these. Let's see what time it is. All right. Yeah, but the world will be badly affected. Yep, new wire coming. Yep, new wire coming. 10. So I don't think they care. I just don't think they care. I think my opinion, YouTube, I don't think that they care, and they believe that everybody's going to back down. Trust me, you'd be glad I'm not our leader. By the way, I got put in Facebook jail for 24 hours, and then for a whole 30 days, they put me on this thing where people can't really see my stuff unless they're looking for it. And you know what? I was a joke. Do not joke on YouTube about or on Facebook about certain things. Putin is, yeah. A real wake-up call. Absolutely, Kaylee. I'm glad you like it, George. I'm glad that you like it. Facebook jail. Yes, Kaylee. So just a short version of what happened is we get notified. I'm in a group, Facebook group locally, where criminals, when somebody does something bad, which I tell you in a moment what happened, a different story. So, and sometimes it's bad stuff. And I said, someone needed to kick their I did. I said it. I'm sorry if it offends anybody, but they did. Trust me, it was a bad thing. Facebook didn't find, I wasn't a good neighbor. I was not a good Facebook neighbor, and I got put in jail. My sister Patricia, though, Hemmerly, Olita, she goes to jail all the time. She's had to fake her name now on Facebook. She has to fake her name because she is gotten into a lot of trouble, apparently. It's bizarre. And that was bizarre. A propane leak is very serious. It will kill you one way or another. Can't have that. Oh my gosh. It's always one of my biggest fears. You know what? No, I just straight up, no, we're not coming this winter. I wish, okay? It's stressful to even think about. I don't know what we're going to be doing in the near future, but right now we have to, our finances suck, okay? Yes, they're touchy about, you know what though? They let certain people inside and not other people. Obviously, it probably wasn't a good thing for me to say the guy deserved to have his butt kicked. So you're never going to guess what happened here in Eugene, just about. 2 miles from where I live. There's a lot of homelessness in Eugene. We've talked about this a little bit, the reasons behind it. Oregon has decriminalized drugs, blah, blah, blah. Okay, not going to go into that. Don't have time for it. And so anyways, this guy, 18 years old, went crazy, lost his mind. He drove over somebody. There was a tent on the side of the road, kind of off the road, about 25 feet off the road. This little person drove up onto the sidewalk, crossed over, ran over the tent, killed the woman inside. The man that was there beside her almost got run over too, just apparently inches, and then drove reckless and crazy, tried to hit somebody else, was driving south in the northbound lanes or south in the northbound lanes. It's one or the other. Crossed over, this is a 4-lane road, Highway 99, which runs from like Mexico to Canada. Hit 2 other people, or hit 1 other person, hit 2 other people. Critically injured one, and the other person, it's not critical. So, okay, I know, Richard. So anyways, I know, Kaylee, oh my gosh, it's a horrible thing. I had to, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So this week, I'm going to do something about the crime that's happening and being prepared for that. And by the way, I do own a protection device, and I have learned to take it apart completely. Completely. I can take my protection device apart. I practice it all by myself. I practice it when I'm laying in bed and I got nothing better to do but deal with my pain. I lay there and I take it apart and I put it back together again. Take it apart, put it back together again. And I've been practicing. So yeah, I believe I'm going to change it out. I believe I'm going to change it out. It stuck a couple times when I was practicing, and practice in the dark. I don't know about that. I got banned from commenting in an RV group because the women kept talking about having I told them they needed to be familiar with each. Oh, yes. No. So that's part of having protection. So I'm familiar with my state laws, living in a liberal state. They're really trying to shrink many things, and they, in fact, have. It's nothing that I'm overly upset about. I believe certain things are necessary. I have to leave, so I can't go into that. Yeah, I'd use protection device, and not talking about a condom either. And so yes, they don't like that, but I believe I'm gonna do a video about it. I see people who do videos about it, and I think I'm gonna call it a girl in her protection device. And I'm gonna take it apart, put it back together, and then show how I've learned to use it. All right, you guys, so right now that's all I've got. I appreciate that you came and you stuck it out. If you have not been to see that video, I would so love you to do it. And if you would hang with me for 1 moment more, I'm going to play that last 60 seconds in case you came in and you hadn't been able to go see the video, because it really is, came in and you hadn't been able to, oh, that's not it. That is, okay, I need to go over here to this, go to my channel, go to manage videos. I kind of like how I use my hands. I talk, when I'm doing stuff, I talk out loud. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to shut down the sound before anybody can hear it, because I am just, if you want to stay and listen to 60 seconds of the last 60 seconds, is what really mattered to me, is that these people got some recognition for the work that they do. I know, Richard, it's just 60 seconds. No. Don't rush. I know, Richard, we have to leave. Almost there. Okay, so hold on, sorry. All right, I gotta go back over here to my StreamYard. There's, I thought I shut StreamYard down. All right, so you guys, thank you so much for showing up. I love you. George, you're gonna hear from me probably Friday, okay? I still have your information, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to get in touch with you sooner. And hey, Vicky, sorry, I'm heading out. I've got up errand to run with Richard. So let me share, but I'm going to share this as we leave. Stay safe, everybody.
Great.